Planning, Zoning, and Historic Committee to order. We have two bills that are being requested deferral on, so we will handle those first and then do our consent agenda. Bill 2012-522, a resolution by Duval, Matthews, and Bedney authorizing the Director of Public Property to exercise options to purchase real property for the use and benefit of metropolitan public schools. Request by the sponsor to defer indefinitely. This was approved by administratively by the planning staff on 11/22. The sponsor is requesting to defer. And then BL 2012-292, sponsor Berry and Stein, an ordinance amending Title 17 of the zoning regulations by amending Section 17-04060 and 17-16-550 pertaining to recording studios as home occupation accessory uses in residential districts. And the request is to defer on to the second reading in January. This was approved by the Commission 7-4-0 against and 1 abstention on 11/8. But the request is to defer to the second meeting in January. So do I have a motion on those two deferral? Motion made to defer. Councilman Bedney?
Yeah, thank you. Did Councilman Duval send a letter?
Yes.
Can I see the letter? Because this is the first time I learned about this.
What's a request to defer? All right, motion made to defer. Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Those in favor? Any opposed? So BL 2012-522 and 2012-292 are deferred. All right, our consent agenda. Bill 2012-523, sponsor is Claiborne and Pridemore, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Property to exercise the option to purchase real property for the use of parkland, administratively approved by the staff on 12/14. 2012-524, resolution Gilmore and Matthews, authorizing the Director of Public Property to exercise the option to purchase real properties for recreational use in the park system. Administrative approval on 12/14. Bill 2012-525, sponsor Gilmore, Claiborne, and Matthews, resolution accepting a PPFG Tennessee Civil War Crossroads grant from Middle Tennessee State University for the design and printing of a Civil War heritage tourism brochure titled Tennessee Civil War Crossroads, Nashville Civil War Story. There's no Planning Commission action that's required for that. BL 2012-526, resolution by Gilmore, Claiborne, and Matthews accepting a PPFG Fort Negley Historic Structure Grant from Middle Tennessee State University to complete a historic structures report for Fort Negley. And again, there was no Planning Commission action required on that request. BL 2012-322, sponsor Claiborne, Gilmore, and Matthews, authorizing the granting of a permanent easement of Piedmont Natural Gas for certain property owned by metropolitan government and presently used as Heartland Park. Administrative approval on 12/13. BL 2012-323, sponsor Claiborne and Potts, ordinance adopting the official street and alley acceptance and maintenance map. Approval administratively on 11/16. BL 2012-325, sponsor Claiborne, Potts, and Matthews, an ordinance granting a franchise to Nashville Data Link to construct, operate, and maintain a telecommunications system. Administrative approval on 12/4. BL 2012-301, sponsor is Johnson. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by amending a portion of the Nashville Village Plan Unit Development Overlay District for a portion of property located at the southeast corner of Nashville Boulevard in Flintlock Court, zoned R10, 4.48 acres, to permit an assisted independent living facility and multifamily residential townhome use not to exceed 2 stories, where 144 multifamily units in 2 6-story buildings were previously approved. And this was approved with amendments by the Planning Commission on 11/8, and it is disapproved without or as submitted. So we're voting on the approval with the amendment. BL 2012-303, sponsor is Johnson. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by amending a portion of Nashville Village Plan Unit Development Overlay District for property located at Nashville Boulevard, unnumbered, east of Murfreesboro Pike, zoned RM6, 1.70 acres, to add conditions applicable for a daycare facility use already approved on the property. And this was approved with amendments on 11/8, disapproved without amendments. So we're voting on the bill as amended. And BL 2012-306, sponsor is Todd. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by amending a portion of Stammer Park SP for properties located at the southwest corner of Hobbs Road and Stammer Place, 2.34 acres, to permit detached units. This was approved with conditions on October the 11th. And BL 2012-307, sponsor is Glover. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by changing from RS15 to AR2A, zoning for property located at 931 Old Lebanon Road, 6 acres. This was approved by the Commission on 11/8. BL 2012-308, sponsor is Moore. An ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by changing from R8 to RS5, zoning for property located at 906 Ackland Avenue, 0.25 acres, approved on 9/27. What? Yeah. BL 2012-312, sponsor is Claiborne. An ordinance amending Title 17 of the zoning regulations to add automobile convenience as a use permitted with conditions in the IWD, IR, and IG zoning districts. This was approved by the Commission on 10/25. And BL 2012-313, sponsor is Claiborne. An ordinance amending Section 1740.010 of the zoning regulations to require construction, application, and enforcement of the zoning code in accordance with federal law. This was approved by the Commission on 11/8. So those are the items on the consent agenda. Are there any to be pulled, or are there questions about any?
Bill, I think you left out 308 through 311.
309, 310, and 311. The sponsors are not here, and I don't have a letter, so we'll deal with those after we finish with the consent agenda. Council Lady Moore.
I wanted to pull 308 for discussion, if that's okay. I need to ask some questions.
All right. Councilman Glover.
I need clarification on 301 and 303. If you could, it's disapproved as submitted, approved with the amendments, and you said that what we're voting on now is with amendments.
Yes, we're voting to either approve or disapprove as recommended by the Commission. And the Commission's vote was to disapprove as submitted, but to approve with the amendments that were recommended. And on the other, to disapprove without the amendments and to approve with the amendments, both of them.
Mr. Cooper, can you give me some clarification?
Yes, there's an amendment to Bill 303 that the planning department drafted. That, if that amendment passes, then it is approved. The planning commission recommended approval if 301 was amended to lower it to 4 stories. There is not an amendment for that bill, so it's treated as a disapproved bill.
So then we're not voting for the amendment.
Yeah, the amendment on 303, no amendment on 301.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay.
So if we vote in favor of 301, then we are saying that we agree with the planning commission. If there's not an amendment to it, then it's disapproved?
If you vote in favor of the bill, that would be voting contrary to the, I mean, the planning commission recommended approval if it was amended. If it's not amended, then it's considered
Okay,
disapproved.
I just want to make sure I understand. Thank you.
All right. Councilman Bedney.
The lights are not going on here. I just got my question answered by Mr. Cooper. Thank you.
Okay. Council Lady Moore, did you have another question?
On the 308, is it okay to ask the question now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
This is, it's still on the
Let me go ahead
consent?
and,
Okay.
let me go ahead and get the
Okay.
consent agenda out of the way.
Okay.
Is there any other item on the consent agenda? Councilman Todd?
So tomorrow night, 301 will take 27 or 28 votes, and 303 just takes a majority?
Correct.
Or 21?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you will clarify that prior to the vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Other questions on the items on the consent agenda? All right. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion made and seconded to approve our consent agenda. Those in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda passes. Okay. Council Lady Moore.
Chair, I have a question for the planning department staff.
Okay.
I'd just like to know, we're changing from RA to RS5. Is that to allow for more units, and that's my first question. The second question is, will they tear down the existing structure, or will they do an attachment? And the third question is, what will it look like? I mean, do they submit a rendering? What will it look like? I just need to know something.
At this point, this is just a rezoning. We don't have any site plan or anything for the property, but it rezones it to RS5, which would allow single family only. And it's my understanding that what they're going to do is they're going to come back and subdivide this one lot into 2 so that they would have one unit that sort of faces Wedgwood and then another unit that faces Ackland Avenue, because this particular lot is right at the corner of the alley that behind the property and Wedgwood, so they would be able to put one unit that sort of faces Wedgwood. Mm-hmm. But no, we have not seen a plan, since this is just a regular rezoning, not an SP. So
Are they required to submit something, what it's going to look like? Or?
they are not.
I like to see what something's going to look like with this. I really do. I mean, is it going to fit in the character with the neighborhood? I don't know. I just need to see something. Is that a possibility to call Cadoo's Real Estate?
Well, I mean, with this is just a regular rezoning, and it met the land use policy in that area, so we did not get a plan. But I guess it is possible that you could talk to the owner or the applicant to see if they have a plan for what they're going to do before you move forward with it.
Okay.
Would you like to defer one meeting?
I could defer this one meeting and just to see what is it going to fit in the character with the neighborhood. I just have some concerns about it. That's all.
All right. So motion made to and seconded to defer 2012-308 one meeting. Those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we have BL 2012-309, sponsor is Jernigan, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by changing from MUL to SP zoning for property located at 100 Iris Avenue to permit all uses of the MUL zoning district and new and used tire sales. And BL 2012-310, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the zoning ordinance by changing from R10 to RS10 to SP for properties located at 1719 and 1725 Glen Echo Road and at Glen Echo Road unnumbered, 4.31 acres. Both of these are Councilman Jernigan's bill has been disapproved by the Planning Commission. McGuire's bill has been approved with conditions, but neither are here and neither have a letter requesting any action on the bill. So do I have a motion to defer one meeting? All right, motion to defer by rule and seconded. Those in favor? Motion passes. And that is our agenda. Thank you very much.